Hi guys, it is I, Jake Spy. So it is currently 8:06 in the morning. So why not do another stream, shall we? So of course, like usual, um, I'm just bored. And I really want to talk. I usually talk in the mirror at this point, but I can't at the moment because you was here. Um, but yeah, and yeah, since my desk is a little bit more set up, like a little bit better set up, might as well do a live stream while it's still like this, because knowing me, I'll probably fuck it up. So, let's talk about some random matchups I like. So, let's actually start off with Escape the Night matchups, since those are very rare. So, the first ever Escape the Night matchup I've ever made, or really anyone has ever made, is Chris McLean from Total Drama versus Joey from Escape the Night. This is honestly the best for both, in my opinion. I don't really care what anyone says. This is my favorite for both. I know people are just like, but Chris McLean has so many better matchups. Well, to be fair, if I'm gonna choose between a series I actually recognize or a random series I genuinely don't care about, I'm gonna have to choose the one I recognize the best. And also, Joker Suffolk is just one of those characters from Escape the Night that, honestly, he's like one of the only like five, like only like 10 of the guests are worthy of freaking like death battle feats. Well, 9 of the guests and Joey. Outside of those 10 characters, well, even then, I think really only 5 or 6 characters are worthy. Supposedly, Rosanna Pansino is coming back for the movie, so maybe she'll have a few feats in that. But otherwise, she's just the cute little fortune cookie. So, I mean, to be fair, she is a fighter too. Um, like I feel like Joey's the most worthy of the Escape the Night like main characters to actually be on Death Battle. Because when you really think about it, most of these characters really shouldn't be on Death Battle. The second character I have in mind is D-Storm. D-Storm versus Darius is honestly the best you're gonna get from him. But then again, I think it's also the best you're gonna get from Darius as well, because the only other Darius matchup I can think of on the top of my head is Charlie/A Squad Red from Power Rangers, which is okay, but like it's just another Power Rangers versus Mortal Kombat matchup, which there are plenty of. So it's just like, why the fuck not include D-Storm versus Darius, because that one's more fun and more creative. Next up, we have Detective Tap versus MatPat. Genuinely a pretty good matchup, and the connections are actually pretty alright. I won't lie, the connections are decent. Um, but like that's the only part that's like good about it. And also, you can have a really fun fight here, kind of like a Solid Snake versus Sam Fisher, but instead of like a knife fight, it's a detective crime solving type fight. That would be pretty freaking sick. Now, who wins between these two? I want to say MatPat, but I'm pretty sure, due to freaking, I don't know how far both of these scale in verses, but I'm pretty sure Dead by Daylight scales a little bit more than Escape the Night. Again, we'll see when the movie comes out for Escape the Night, but I digress. But I'll just say MatPat wins just to make my life easier. And also, this is like one of the only two Dead by Daylight one of the only 3 Dead by Daylight matches I actually like. The other two being Dollface versus the Trickster, Dollface from Twisted Metal specifically, and Nicolas Cage versus versus Jean-Claude Van Damme, Johnny Cage. Those two are really fun. Outside of these three, I can't really say I like any other Dead by Daylight matchups. Which is ironic because two of these are Survivor characters, and usually you're not in for the Survivor characters in Dead by Daylight. You're in for like the guest characters like Leatherface or Michael Myers. Yeah, we have Leatherface in Dead by Daylight, and we have Freddy Krueger in Dead by Daylight, but we don't have Jason. But we have Michael Myers and Ghostface in Dead by Daylight, but we don't have them in Mortal Kombat. Yeah, think about that. And we have Jason, Predator, and Alien in Mortal Kombat, but we don't have them in Dead by Daylight, as far as I'm aware. For Alien and Predator. What's another Escape to that matchup I like? I mean, there's also Tyler versus Tyler. That's honestly probably the best you're gonna get for freaking the Tylers from Escape the Night and Total Drama. I mean, both are real. Both these between this and Joey versus Chris, I honestly like this one a little bit more due to the fact that it's more original and honestly, Chris versus Joey Stefan, I don't even know what I was thinking with that one. Besides, their escape shows and stuff like that. And by the way, have you noticed that 3 out of the 4 of these characters are actually Survivor characters? Poor D-Storm. Poor guy can't catch a fucking break. And of course, it's the one fucking black guy from the season, so of course he just had to fucking die. Jesus, I don't know what it is, and also doesn't help that like the black character always dies in the 4th episode. Like at least Glazell Green got to be the 4th one to go instead of the 3rd one like most of the other ones. But yeah, is that like in a contract or something? Where the freaking black character has to go 3rd or 4th depending on when you first start the season? That is so freaking weird too. Now for the Escape the Night movie, I can guarantee you there's not gonna be like a specific order to how characters die. They're just gonna die either way. So hopefully Markiplier, like if we're going off of the first cast of characters where Markiplier and LD Shadowlight are in it, I hope those two win. Because otherwise, first of all, I'll be slightly upset, and my nieces will also be very upset. Like, that's the problem with most survivors in Escape the Night, too. Is, like, if the movie doesn't have a survivor that isn't that. Because for some reason, every season there's at least one survivor that's, like, LGBTQ. Like, why? Like, I get it, Joey, you want to represent your gay kind, but, like, this is freaking forcing it. Like, when it gets to a point where freaking Season 4 has one survivor that died halfway through the season, and it's an all-star season, so all these characters are dead and come back for one extra season. So technically that person, the female survivor, died 2 or 3 times before she got revived. Again. Like, how many times are you gonna revive freaking Colleen, guys? And then freaking, the other one is just a, like, why didn't you just bring back Manny or anybody? That would have been better than freaking, this guy. Like, I would have taken Manny over him any day. Anyways, so the next series we're going to talk about in terms of some of my favorite matchups is Ninja Turtles. because if you couldn't tell, I like Ninja Turtles. Now not as much as Power Rangers, but that's not really saying much because most of the stuff on my desk right now is Ninja Turtles related. I digress. So what time is it? 8:16. We have plenty of time. Good. But yeah. Actually, let's talk about some other random matchups. Yeah, we're not gonna go in particular order. Escape the Night was just first because those are the ones I think of on top of my head. So let's go completely and utterly random with this one. Scene Queen versus Ice Nine Kills. Okay, so I can't remember the actual people's names, but what I do know is the band names, and honestly, it doesn't sound like that bad of a matchup. Also, Horrorcore versus Bimbocore, which kind of vibes, not gonna lie. Who do I think wins? Honestly, Ice Nine Kills, because for one, they've been around longer, and for two, their songs are not that annoying. Like, Scene Queen does get a little bit annoying, especially with pretty much every title that she has having the word pink in it. Like I get it that it's called Bimbocore, so it's just like you have to talk about plenty of things that are pink. But like I get that that's the stereotype, but like this is pushing it, man. When like practically every other title just has pink, like Pink Rover, pink, like whatever. Like, oh boy. I mean, to be fair, there's also one music video where they feature Set It Off, the singer from Set It Off, which is Barbie and Ken, of course. And I never really heard that one, but honestly, it does sound kind of okay. Now, in terms of like Bimbocore songs, I feel like my favorite would be Monstar by I don't remember this person's name. Anaria, something like that. But yeah, it's a good song. And that's the one I used for Draculaura, which practically nobody saw. I think it's mostly because I used a Monster High character. That's probably the reason why no one saw it. I'll probably still remake that one just to make up for the fact that I used a red version of the character instead of the normal pink. And yeah, Draculaura is the only interesting one to me, so that's the one I'll use more than likely. And yeah, I feel like I should talk about solo themes, but like I don't want to go too deep into that because I don't want to get sidetracked. Another random matchup. Well, this guy's staring right at me, so Jack Sparrow versus Indiana Jones. That's a pretty damn good matchup. It's probably one my favorite, like I don't know if it's my favorite though. I think it might be one of my favorite like Pirates of the Caribbean matchups. And also probably my favorite Indiana Jones matchup, although that one's pretty much mixed up with Lara Croft for me. And same with Jack Sparrow, it's between this one and maybe one other one. I can't really remember on the top of my head though. But yeah, regardless. Another random matchup I like. Oh yeah. Composite Chun-Li versus Composite Leonardo. So the reason why I put them as composite is mostly due to the fact that, like, you're better off with those two, since Leonardo has already been used 3 times, and generally has only been used once, but I can guarantee you she's gonna have at least 2 more times to shine. Now, what do I feel like? Now, who do I feel like she's gonna fight? Min Min from ARMS and maybe Trini from Power Rangers, because we are very much lacking in Power Ranger matchups. Like, very much lacking. I mean, think about it. We only have 4 Power Ranger matchups, and all of them are Mighty Morphin related, which is barely scratching the surface of how many Power Ranger matchups there actually fucking are. Doesn't really help that so many Power Ranger matchups, the hype for them died very quick. Like, Randy versus Jaden, for example, that died fucking fast, man. That died fast. Like, it was popular for like 2 or 3 years and then just went away. But yeah, Composite Leonardo versus Composite Chun-Li. The reason why I put these two up against each other is, first of all, so here's most of the connections. They wear the color blue. They are one of the main characters in the show, in their franchise, I should say. One of their friends is a guy in red, Ken and Raphael. And both of them have a Power Ranger version of them and a Fortnite version of them. Those are like the main 4 connections, but honestly, it's not that bad. Also, one's an American property that's based off of Japanese culture. The other one is a Japanese company. Is basically a Japanese game based around like multiple different countries, anywhere from China in her case, and like America, stuff like that. Which honestly isn't that bad. And by the way, hold on. I actually have 2 Rafts and Donnie and Leo. I have a few Michelangelos, but I don't know where they are. Oh yeah. One of them would be that pizza box. I don't know where the hell that thing is. Hope it's not in the bin. Because otherwise, that's just a waste. Because that was a really cool pizza box, in my opinion. Holy shit, that drawer got heavy quick. Holy shit. Alright, see you for part 2 for solo themes.